In the tranquil town of Pine Hollow, Emily Harper carried herself with a quiet charm that masked the fire within. At 28, she was soft-spoken and approachable, the sort who'd lend a hand without hesitation. Yet she harbored a secret that could rewrite her world. Her mother, Susan Harper, was the CEO of Harper Innovations, a company celebrated for its clever inventions: compact air purifiers, energy-saving lights, gadgets that brightened daily life. Susan, now 57, projected authority, but few saw her private struggle. The relentless demands of leadership had worn her thin, leaving gaps that others exploited. Within Harper Innovations' modern headquarters, James Turner, Michael Reed, Sarah Bennett, and Thomas Hayes operated with unchecked boldness. These managers had seized control of daily operations as Susan withdrew, skimming profits and funneling money into personal accounts. They padded budgets, forged receipts, and grew reckless, betting on Susan's distance to shield them. They were wrong to think no one noticed. Emily did. Since her teens, Emily had known the company was her birthright. Susan had shared the truth one rainy evening over coffee, admitting the business was meant for her daughter to claim. It was more than a corporation. It was a family promise. Emily held that secret close, watching as her mother faltered and the managers tightened their hold. By her late 20s, she'd seen the rot: secret payouts, inflated costs, a legacy tainted. She wouldn't wait for rescue. Justice, she resolved, was hers to deliver. Her strategy was straightforward but audacious. She'd abandon her desk job as a junior coordinator, a role that hid her true stake, and become a delivery driver for Harper Innovations. The position was unglamorous, invisible, ideal for slipping under the radar. She swapped her cardigans for a plain gray uniform, pulled her chestnut hair under a cap, and settled into an aging delivery van. No one suspected the driver crisscrossing Pine Hollow was the company's rightful owner. Each day, as she wove through crowded streets and sleepy lanes, Emily collected fragments of proof: whispers, stray papers, anything to expose the manager's deceit. Her days began at dawn, the van's engine coughing awake as the sky lightened. At the dispatch hub, she met Tom, a weathered man with decades at the company. He'd seen Harper Innovations in its prime and loved to share tales over thermos coffee. Hints of managers lurking late, odd deliveries shuffled in the dark. Emily listened intently, her pen darting across a worn ledger stashed in her dashboard. Tom's offhand remarks were treasure, and she mined them with care. Her routes spanned the town: offices, storage yards, quiet neighborhoods. She handed off packages with a quick smile, her senses sharp behind her cap. At one drop, a receptionist muttered about late funds. At another, a loader griped about unexplained crates. Each stop peeled back a layer of the company's secrets. During lunch, she'd pull into Daisy's Diner, a cheery spot with faded curtains and a warm hum. In a corner booth, she'd unfold her ledger, linking names to numbers, dates to discrepancies. The managers weren't just thieves, they were careless. Weeks rolled by and the evidence mounted. A torn memo in a recycle bin listed phantom expenses. A glimpse of Michael Reed shifting boxes in a deserted alley sparked suspicion. Emily stayed methodical, her pace deliberate. She knew a misstep could unravel everything. When coworkers asked about her day, she'd shrug and chat lightly, her truth buried deep. Pine Hollow seemed to murmur its own clues, soft echoes of betrayal in the breeze. One brisk November morning, the puzzle sharpened. Emily spotted James Turner's SUV outside a remote office, far from his usual turf. She nosed her van into a nearby lot and peered out as he met Sarah Bennett at the entrance, their voices hushed but tense. She couldn't catch the words, but their darting eyes said plenty. That night she logged it, tying it to a dubious payment she'd uncovered earlier. The threads were weaving tight. They were draining the company dry. She needed help. Over pie at Daisy's, she opened up to Laura, a cleaner at headquarters who'd always greeted her warmly. Laura, a wiry woman in her 50s, had her own suspicions. Thomas Hayes hiding files, lights burning late in locked rooms. She slid Emily a scrap of paper with scribbled times, her voice low. "I knew something stank," she said. "You're fixing it." Together, they bolstered the case. Cash trails, clandestine huddles, a company under siege. At home, in her simple flat, Emily laid her findings across a dining table. Receipts, notes, Laura's scrap. It painted a damning picture. The managers had siphoned thousands, counting on Susan's retreat. Emily's determination solidified. She wasn't just rescuing a business, she was reclaiming a trust. For her mother, the workers, herself. Justice wasn't handed out, it was forged. The breaking point hit on a damp Wednesday. Emily caught Michael Reed on a call near the hub, his tone clipped. "She's clueless. Keep going." That sealed it. She spent the night sorting her proof, every piece a weapon. She contacted Daniel Brooks, a local reporter known for chasing truth. Over a late call, she outlined her move. A board meeting, the evidence unveiled. Daniel's voice crackled with resolve. "This'll wake the town," he said. "Count me in." The next day, Emily strode into Harper Innovations, her cap traded for a jacket, her ledger swapped for a thick folder. She looked like any driver dropping a package until she entered the boardroom. The managers lounged, unaware. James Turner grinned at a quip. Sarah Bennett sipped coffee. Emily cleared her throat and the room froze. "Here's your delivery," she said, setting the folder down. She opened it, spilling out the evidence. Receipts, timelines, proof. "I'm Emily Harper, the true owner of this company. Your game's over." The air thickened. Michael Reed's jaw dropped. Thomas Hayes gripped his seat. Emily spoke evenly, laying bare their theft, each claim anchored by facts. The board, 5 seasoned executives who'd leaned on the managers, listened, their faces hardening from disbelief to outrage. Daniel Brooks stood near the exit, camera rolling. When Emily finished, silence pressed down. James tried to bluff. "She's lying. She's nothing." But the board wasn't swayed. Susan, called earlier by Emily, stepped in then, her fragile frame steadier than it'd been in years. "She's my daughter," she said, her voice shaky but sure. "And she's right." Police arrived within the hour. James, Michael, Sarah, and Thomas were led out, their protests fading into the clink of cuffs. The board moved fast, ordering a full review. Workers murmured in the corridors, a wave of shock and relief spreading. Harper Innovations wasn't just salvaged, it was renewed. Days later, Pine Hollow hummed with the tale. Susan retired, naming Emily acting CEO. The company set new standards. Openness, equity, a vow honored. Workers returned with renewed purpose, knowing their driver had battled for them. Emily stood at her mother's old desk, gazing over the town. She'd swapped her van for a suit, but her ledger stayed near, a testament to her journey. Justice had been hard won, but it rang true. For her, for Susan, for every soul who'd built Harper Innovations, it was a triumph carved from grit. One quiet driver rewrote a legacy. This story proves that courage in the shadows can bring justice to light. If Emily's fight inspired you, drop a like to let us know. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more tales of grit and truth. What would you risk to right a wrong? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're listening. Until next time, remember, honesty builds more than empires.